It's the most wonderful time of the year. No, it's not. It's the time of the year where we're getting really close to the HRX games, to the SPL finals for this year, to the all-deciding World Championships. And traditionally, Hi-Rez always forgets something around that time. And that is to bring the last insane buffed gods in line with the rest. We had this story a few times, pretty much every year, with some gods that absolutely stood out above the rest. This year, Hi-Rez has blessed us with things like Kukulin, probably Daji, that's another topic for another day, and this guy, Ullr. I made a video on Ullr not too long ago saying, hey, you know, he just got a bit back on the radar and maybe got a little bit overtuned in the process. He probably didn't need this buff and that buff, but you know, we'll see how it develops. He'll probably get nerfed a little bit down the road. That was 3 patches ago. Now guess what did not happen? Any of the buffs being reverted. And therefore, it's time for an Ullr rant. I will actually begin by going over the buff quickly again because it's been so long since the buff came out that we actually forgot what exactly was in the buff. Weapon Master passive now includes a passive meter that tracks cooldowns between stances. Bladed Arrow and Thrown Axe. Bladed Arrow increased physical power scaling from 70 to 80%. Thrown Axe decreased casting time from 0.4 seconds to 0.2 seconds to better match his current animations. Thrown Axe increased physical power scaling from 60 to 70%. Exposed Weakness Invigorate decreased mana cost from 60 to 80 to 50 at all ranks. Hail of Arrows Glory Bound. Hail of Ares updated targeter FX to make it more clear when this ability can hit and when it is going to deal damage to an enemy. Glory Bound fixed an issue where Ullr would slide when he landed at max range. Glory Bound fixed an issue where this ability would consume mana very late. Glory Bound decreased mana counts from 70 to 90 to 60 at all ranks. Wield Axe, Wield Bow decreased casting times from 0.3 to 0.2 seconds. The first thing you notice here is that this list of buffs is very, very long. I have, when this came out, said that I think that Ullr probably needed some buffs. I just didn't believe that he needed all these buffs. 3 patches later, let's hear some feedback from the community. Adarexia said, quite excited for the patch notes tonight. If I don't see a Voidstone and Ullr nerfs, I think I'll dial a little inside though. After the patch, I feel like a bit of an idiot. I've been defending Hi-Rez, saying they wouldn't leave Ullr in his state just to sell skins, but I guess I was wrong. Fuck me, right? Sexy Rexy. Please Hi-Rez, just revert Ullr's Axe delay. Now this one may not actually be a request to nerf Ullr as a whole, but rather to make his Axe delay as it was before for those players who are used to it, but also maybe so that not everyone can play Ullr with this fail-safe stun. Stormed. Since the Ullr buff, I've stopped having fun in Smite when he's in my game, which is almost every game. Can anyone advise me how to play into it, since he's likely in this state until Season 5? Yay. Vote. Ullr not nerfed. And then hit us with the XD after the patch notes. Lobster's reply. Ullr is very bad, you pro player are so stupid. Ullr do no damage, is impossible to hit ability and weak damage because I'm always die Ullr. Is bad OMG idiotas. Please remove our clan so OP witiv. You should probably sense that that was sarcasm. Merle. Ullr buff was just to sell the skin. Confirmed. Is it that hard to revert the exchange, guys? I guess so. In before nerfed in patch 4.25 after Worlds. FineOK had some more sarcastic words once again. All these pros complaining about Ullr not getting nerfed are babies. Think outside the box maybe. Try playing Nox, Loki dual lane and gank his ass on cooldown with Invis. This actually expanded to also playing Athena, Thor and some other stealth god Ao Kuang just specifically to counter Ullr. Because then he would be easy to counter. And last but not least, we have Emilzy. I really hope Ullr gets the stick tonight in the patch notes. Otherwise, I have a hard time believing there's no correlation between his tier 5 skin and his changes. Like, what game mode is he underperforming in? I guess Assault because he runs out of mana. Oh wait, he got buffed there too. And after some discussions later, hope the Hi-Rez employees defending the Ullr no nerf are getting fat bonuses. Cause goddamn, this is not alright. Come on now, Hi-Rez. Who is he referring to? Well, quite a few Hi-Rez employees probably, but most likely primarily Stealth, because he had a discussion with Hi-Rez Stealth. Now, in this case, I will definitely say, don't shoot the messenger. Stealth has been excellent with responding to community feedback, has been very interactive overall, and has shown that he's very suited for the role that he's filling now. Thing is, that means he also has to be the one to kind of pick up on the mudslinging or kind of interact in situations where it may not be comfortable and represent the opinion of the company backed by what others, maybe the designers for example, would tell him. Stealth refers to the Smite GG stats. Those are open for everyone, you can just look into them, and says, before his buffs, Ullr was one of the lowest gods played with some of the lowest win rates. After the buffs, he is sitting almost perfectly at a 50% win rate. I think it's a little ridiculous to say things like, I honestly feel bad for anyone who thought Ullr needed buffs, they're clearly eating too much glue. We can see the stats, Ullr was underperforming everywhere. We've heard from some pros that he was a weak character previously. Obviously not every pro is going to agree with who's good and who's bad, but we take these pros considerations and combine them with the data and long conversations about who should get buffed and nerfed. I'll put it like this. Please go ahead and point me to the pro players that seriously say these days that Ullr is in a good state, he needed all those buffs exactly like that, and that he is overall not in any need of nerfs at all. I would like to hear those voices, I'd like to see them, because they're not on Twitter, I can tell you that much, and most pros are active on Twitter. And preferably, I'd like to hear it from someone who is not an ADC Ullr main. I highly doubt that there are many voices left to support that in an actual serious way. And as such, let's look at these stats that are linked there. What we can see here is the overall win rate of Ullr across all divisions. First of all, Bronze, I have been informed, barely counts for anything at all. Not only because Ullr, well, is not exactly a god for Bronze players, but also because the fraction of the player base that actually is in Bronze is way smaller than it's represented here through these equal gaps. There's such a small player base in Bronze that everything is basically skewed there anyways. So we can basically start from Silver. In Silver, Ullr has a 49.8% win rate. Then in Gold he goes up to almost 52%, then in Plat he goes down to 51%, and in Diamond Plus he's still on 50.6%. So his overall win rate, if we take out this bit of Bronze, is consistently on 50% win rate or higher. Now it's good to read into stats like that and be like, okay, that looks kind of balanced, but maybe we have to look at a few more stats. And there are more stats, and they're right down below, and they're called pick rate, ban rate, and pick and ban rate. And guess what? His ban rate in Diamond Plus is 72%. His pick rate in Diamond is 23% because he's almost never even possible to be picked. And that means his overall pick and ban rate in Diamond is 95%. Even in Plat, it's still 90%, and in Gold, it's still 90%. In Silver, it's still 85%. If a god is that highly valued across all divisions, and that barely goes through, then the stats that come after that are already less valued overall. When Ullr is open, everyone's gonna pick Ullr, no matter how good or bad they are at them, just because of the state Ullr's in, and that ends up dragging the win rate down as well. Likewise, there is something to Ullr that other gods just don't have in the same way. Ullr has an excellent early boxing phase, trading phase, and lane clear, and it's super easy to do as well. You have such high pressure and kill potential even on level 1 and 2. With the X1 combo, you can do so much damage on level 1 actually, that he's become one of the highest pressure junglers at the moment. He's an ADC and he outtrains everyone in mid lane because he outpushes with the mid lane mage with just his 1, and then if you engage on him he still has his X, so he still has kill potential on you at all times. They're just absolutely ridiculous when he's supposed to be an ADC, and then level 2 it gets even worse. I don't even want to talk about that. If you get comboed on level 2, goodbye. And he doesn't even have to level his second ability for half the game, because why would he? The other abilities are good enough, and at the moment he just lives from that burst and that trading potential that he has through that. So this guy demolishes you all early game, no matter how bad he is. I'm absolutely garbage at Ullr. I'm really bad. I miss half my abilities, and I can still do very well for half the game. The only downside is that in late game, there are better ADCs. He's a good late game ADC still. He has his steroid, he has his extra attack speed, blah, blah, blah. But they're just better ones. There are those who have big AoE ultimates, like Hou Yi or Medusa or something, or those that have like better means of escaping quicker, or any other perks that kind of help him more in late game. And that's the problem for Ullr. You can get super dominant in early, but if you don't emphasize on this lead quickly enough, you're still not gonna win the game. So even these win statistics don't tell us the whole truth, because that still doesn't tell us anything about his KDR in the games that he's lost as well. And if a supposedly mechanically challenging god is above a 50% win rate and an incredibly high ban rate, that shows you that this god is overperforming regardless of the stat that at the end says 50%. He shouldn't be the top ban when he's mechanically challenging and only played by a select group of players to its most effective level. He shouldn't be above 50% win rate, but rather slightly below. And we should be able to know about his kill-death ratio in that regard as well, because I really want to see in how many games Ullr has actually gone negative by much and how much damage he's still output. He is super frustrating to play against. At the end of the game, I don't care if I won or lost, if I had a super annoying laning phase for at least 15 minutes and it was super unfun. I lose most of my Ullr games and I still find his damage absolutely insane when I play him and just drop my kit properly once on an enemy. It's just like, this is completely stupid, why is this okay? He used to have to build ability based for that to function, but with how items got changed and everything, he doesn't even do that anymore. You build a standard ADC build on Ullr, he doesn't need the mana, which was one of his bigger downsides, because everything is cheaper now. You can spam your abilities away all day, and then you also have the option to go into lifesteal, to go into attack speed, and still play like a carry late game, and still do more than many other characters. Why? Why is this okay? Why is this acceptable? Just because of a fucking skin. The snowball that we see in ranked or whatever is not even comparable to what we'll see in competitive. Competitive, the pressure that an Ullr can create in one lane has so much more impact if the team can play around it, which pro players typically can. And if Ullr was free for the whole SPL, you would probably see the most boring matches ever, because there was always gonna be this ADC lane where Ullr just stomps over his opponent unless the opponent is mechanically skilled on a much higher level. Sure, there will be pocket picks, pocket strats where Ullr is maybe avoided or countered or whatever, but overall, we don't want to see a situation where we have gods that just are drastically overperforming so close to SPL with no chance of them being nerfed before anymore because the last patch went through. And not only that, I am so not looking forward to the next weeks. I already see Ullr in every single casual game there is. And if you play casuals in the next week when the skins are out, then you will see him even more. And it's gonna be every game 2 Ullrs being all elementalist cool, and I don't want to see it, please, no! There's one good thing about Ullr though. It's this very tweet that I found while searching for Ullr. Thank you, Ullr. I can at least appreciate that. That's it for this rant. Quick reminder for those of you who haven't seen it yesterday, I currently have a t-shirt, a VER shirt on sale at Teespring. It's only available for 3 days, so it ships in time for HRX, hopefully. If you're into more simplistic designs you can maybe wear in normal situations as well without being looked at like, what the hell is that shirt, then feel free to click the links down below. There's gonna be an NA link and an EU link, so pick whichever works for you. Other than that, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this rant video. I hope it was entertaining. If you're new to the channel, feel free to click the sub button and maybe the bell. It really helps me out. Catch me streaming on Twitch TV/DukeSloth when Ullr is nerfed again. See you for the next one tomorrow. DukeSloth, out.